welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back to that same old place that you laughed about. Well, the names have all changed since you hung around, but those dreams have remained and they've turned around. Who'd have thought they'd lead ya? Who'd have thought they'd lead ya? Back here where we need ya. Back here where we need ya. Yeah, we tease him a lot, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. We always could spot a friend. Welcome back. And I smile when I think how it must have been. And I know what a scene you were learning in. Was there something that made you come back again? And what could ever lead you? What could ever lead you? Back here where we need you. Back here where we need you. Yeah, we tease him a lot, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back. And I know what a scene you were learning in. Was there something that made you come back again? And what could ever lead you? What could ever lead you? Back here where we need you. Back here where we need you. Yeah, we tease him a lot, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back. Yeah, we tease him a lot. Welcome back, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back, welcome back. Yeah, we tease him a lot, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
All right, welcome back to the new podcast of the Karen K Show. Just like we had it before on School and Air, but we are back, and I'm with my co-host. I call him Rennie. Rennie, can you say hello to everyone?
Yo, what's good? This is your boy, the Renegade. This is another No Filter production, people.
And also with my other co-host, y'all probably remember T. T was hanging out with us at School and Air. T, what's going on?
What's happening, Karen K? Happy to be back. Reboot.
Yes, the reboot finally is here, and I'm excited. So I hope everyone is excited. I know you all, a lot of you all didn't want the show to cancel, but here we go, reboot, the Karen K Show, and we're about to get started. Hey, let's start off with, hey, everybody probably wants to know about the NBA season. Should the NBA season start back up? Do you think that LeBron James, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, and some of the bigs have enough power to give the commissioner to start the NBA season back up?
I think it's a players' league, so I think it's more so what they want. The players seem to have mattered more than the owners as far as getting pretty much everything given to them anyway. So I think it's more, that's why they're asking the stars, because they know for a fact the stars matter. If LeBron says they want to play, they're going to play. It doesn't matter if Quinn Cook says it. They could care less about it. But LeBron, it matters. So I think a lot of the teams that have players like LeBron, like Kawhi, like Giannis, that are in contention, they want to get out there and get them a championship. I think the teams that aren't competing, they could, not to say they could care less, but I think they're less antsy to get out there and play. So I would love to see it back. I think they have the power to get it back, but it is a players' league, and they're going to give the players what the players want. That's why it's more momentum for basketball than you see for hockey or baseball, just because it's a players' league.
You know what? I agree with T. But the thing about it is, and even from a business standpoint, I think after this coronavirus, everything dies down, and it should by the start of the NBA season. I think
Right,
it's time for the NBA, especially with the game going global and its growth. It
right.
might be time for a little bit of rebranding, to
Okay,
rebrand the NBA and its image. And, we want to let people know that this is a safe game, at the end
right,
of the day. And I think, LeBron and the stars would, T just talked about that star power,
right.
would do a fabulous job of making sure that people are safe. Now, will
Okay, but
this
okay,
now
go ahead.
will now will this change the game?
Uh-huh.
Maybe, if you want to talk about the gameplay and the rules, but I think we'll be good moving forward with the NBA.
Oh, okay. So let me ask y'all another. The next question is, well, if they do decide to start back up, should they go into empty arenas and play like that? Should they just continue the playoffs that way? Do you think that if they do decide, do you think players on a weekly basis or a daily basis should get checked for the coronavirus if you're going to play?
I think they should do it like regular jobs. You walk into a job, you get a temperature check. If you're good, they let you go. If not, you go home. So I think this
Right,
should be the same with basketball because I think that's kind of worldwide their way of checking without being able to check. So I think that should be mandatory, which that's nothing. That's just putting the little gun to your head for a couple seconds, check your temperature, and
right,
you're on the floor. So I think if that's what you have to do to be quote unquote safe, then you can do that and leave the spectators out of it for now, because it
right.
is early in the process and you do have to kind of see how things progress. But I just want to see some type of basketball back. And before fans and before all that, they played it outside in front of nobody. So if you
Right.
can still play the game and do it the right way without the crowd and all that, just so you know everything you're doing today makes it safe for later on the crowd to come back. So they can
Oh,
definitely
that's
do.
good.
Hey, you know what? You said the same thing that my grandmother and I was having this discussion earlier. I went to go visit her on my lunch break and from work, and she said the same thing. They used to play the game for free.
Right.
When
Yeah.
they actually love the game, and I don't think it should be that big of a deal to players. But even at this stage, my argument was even at this stage that, it's going to change the elements of the game
Right.
because now you're putting players in a position to where, you know what I mean? The feel of it's going to be different, and a lot of things is going to be taken into consideration uh, when they do. But I think Major League Baseball is going to be a big, benchmark for not, fanless games. So I think we had to we'll have to just keep an eye out and see how Major League Baseball handles, you know, uh, this season with not having fans in the stadiums and everything, and just go from there. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that we have enough time to make the proper adjustments and just kind of see where it goes.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. If the season should continue, how should they start up? Should they start back up? And let me explain myself. Should they start back up with a regular season, or should they start back up going as a playoff? Why not return with the 16 teams, the 16 games, the 16 teams playoff now? Because I know some people are saying, hey, there were teams that was at 8 and 9, 9 and 8, that probably could have stepped up a notch to another, maybe 7 or 9. Actually, could have became 8. So, do you think by starting the season off with the playoffs right now, if they decide they go straight to the playoffs, or should they go back to regular season, or do you think people would just say, hey, let's just go to the playoffs, let's get a 16 team, and let's go from there, and we start over? What do you all think about that?
Well, I could be 7 foot, so you can always make the eighth seed, but
Right.
you would have the Lakers sweeping you probably. So I wouldn't
Yes.
necessarily
Yeah.
say that you're really chomping at the bit to get that, that
Right.
spot. that's cool and all, but I think at this point, everybody has to recognize that we're in a different situation. What
Right.
used to be the NBA is no longer the NBA at this point.
Right.
It won't be a regular season to be finished. You could have, been able to get that 8 spot, but you could have been able to get that number 1 spot too at the beginning of the season if you did everything you needed to do. So just understand the situation where we're at. I think that they should try, if nothing else, those new rules that they were talking about, the mid-season tournaments, the play-in
Right.
games, throw some of those ideas out. Make the game a little bit fun, but ultimately give us a champion. And I think if they can successfully do that, and that's what they're getting paid to do, then they could figure out a way. But I think it's just so many moving parts. And like Rennie said too, with baseball, you kind of have to see who makes that first step to make the rules all right, and make it safe and still fun to be able to play and be able to have
Right.
a
Right.
game that don't have an asterisk.
You know what? Just give them a reboot. Because
Right.
I think, we got, everybody should be all the way healthy coming back.
Right.
You know what I
Ooh,
mean?
yes.
And just let's give them a reboot and see, you know what I mean, where we can, I'm okay with not having an NBA champion, for the time being, just for that purpose, because now everybody has a chance. And I think now it's fair, because if you don't do it that way, then you're going to have people, saying, oh, well, they didn't get to finish the regular season. We'll always have that. So to
Right.
keep from having that type of argument, I think it'd be best for the NBA just to go on ahead and, start a new season. I mean, and just take it from there, because, I mean,
No.
it's all a big adjustment. And I think,
Right.
in the end, if we do some things differently that we didn't before, I think, this should be successful.
Well, this is my take on it. No, don't give them a reboot. If you at number 8, like T said, you ain't coming back. You listen, you at number 9, you ain't climbing up. And like you said, you play the Lakers. Listen, the first time, I'm gonna tell everybody, I'm a Lakers fan, and all my fans know that. And for the new people who's gonna be listening, I'm a Lakers fan. And for the first time in how many years? I want to say 11 years. I think the last time we had a championship was 2009. So for the first year, and last year we just didn't make it to the playoffs. Was so far down, was never for, I always make my argument. LeBron got hurt, stayed out so many games. I think it was like, I don't know if it was 7, 8, 17 or whatever. We never made it back up. And this year, we're finally at number 1. And not only that, if I can jog y'all memory back to, I think it was 1st of March before, either the end of February, probably 1st of March before all this stuff happened and the shutdown. Oh, LeBron, they said weekend at Bernie's, but I think it was weekend at Bronny's. We played the Celtics, I remember. We beat them by like 1 point or 2. Then we played, who did we play? Oh my gosh, some of the best teams we played before we played the Bucks.
Yep.
Who was it before we beat the Bucks? We beat the Celtics, and it was the Clippers. And then we beat the Bucks. It was the Celtics, the Bucks, and the Clippers. I think we had the Bucks on Friday night and the Clippers on Sunday. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And we won because they just said Lakers couldn't beat the Bucks, couldn't beat the Clippers or the Bucks, because they beat our Bucks. The Clippers I know twice before. The Bucks had already beat us. So we were we was like on a roll. And here comes the shutdown. And I'm like, we lost, I think, later to Brooklyn Nets, and I couldn't even see that at all. AD didn't get in, but whatever happened. But I'm just saying, hey, we're finally at the top. My thing is, jump in there. Let's get the playoffs going. Let's just give them that. And you're right, Renegade, when you say it's going to be some people who going to say, hey, we didn't get a chance. You had a chance in the beginning. You won't do it so much. If they throw it in there and redo it, now they have to pick up from where they left off and then extend the season. So where could they play it? Because we're going to get into this later in the show. The MLB owners have already approved to return to play opposed. Their opposed have been approved. They're talking about starting back at July 4th. So where would the NBA come in? Which I know they will make some room for, but when would they be able to come in and start a reboot? So that means they got to pick up, and I think they had a good amount of games left. They was at what? Was it 40-some, I think? 40-some games, 50-some?
Yeah, about. It was about
Well,
because I mean it was coming close to playoff time, but it wasn't
was it
quite
coming?
there.
But we
A
had
few
March.
teams still could have. A few teams still could have made some moves.
You think that New Orleans might? I'm looking at a couple of teams that like Zion's team that might have had an opportunity to come back. The KD came back. What now? Brooklyn Nets might even make a run. I don't know. I don't even know where they are, but I guarantee you, KD is up. Everybody, like you said, Renegade on the roster right now, got to be healthy. You haven't been playing. You haven't been put strain. Some of them, some of them has an opportunity. Like I heard a couple of people say, someone was running in their condos. The big players that got all the money got the houses, the basketball courts, the swimming pools, the gyms, and everything in their house. But if you just a little player that don't make a lot of money, you live in a condo right now. You don't have no room to go out and work out enough. And there's certain people now for football, I think, that are opening facilities again where you can come back and practice. And I'm sure it's with health precautions and stuff like that. But I'm saying, where would the NBA fit right now if they tried to start a whole? Where would they put them at right now? Because if we open back up and college football starts back up, then and then baseball, I think, is going to try to make a run. And then you probably got some other leagues that wants to start back up too. So I think they should jump in playoffs. That's just my take on it.
It would be smart to do it. I think it would be easier too because you have less games to have to prepare for and less travel to have to do. Instead of having to go, the city to city 3-4 times out the week, you play a 7-game series, so you're really just bouncing those two. And you can take the crowd out of it. I mean, they can deal without it for basketball for a little while. And keep in mind, too, the quicker you be able to get it started and have a resolution, you can kind of start the next season on time. And these players still kind of, because instead of them getting their summer break during the summer, they may have to still play during the summer. But they had all the time during the COVID to kind of rest up, get their body together. Like you were talking about KD. At the beginning of the season, KD wasn't coming back to next season. But now with COVID, it's always a chance that he plays this year. So that may change the game up if you start in, let's say, November. You finish this season, and you start again in November. These players are healthy, they're fresh, and they're ready to go, and you still got basketball. And you might get some of the best basketball because they had it taken away. So it'll be interesting for sure.
Yeah, it will be. Can you imagine the fresh legs that we're going to have? I mean, everybody have rested, Martin, this has been a 2 months period of time, span time that everybody have rested. Like the growing injury LeBron has probably amazing right now. It's probably healed right now. I mean, just think of the injury. And then Giannis went out with an injury. That last game he played with the Lakers, he couldn't even play until weekend. So I'm sure he's doing well rested right now. Everybody who probably was out is able to be a go right now.
That's a great point.
It's just that we had waivers. We picked up waivers. I just want to mention this. We picked up waivers, and of course, he got caught with marijuana there. I'm like, waivers? Are you kidding me? You know why you got put out at the beginning. You came back and you decided you're going to steal some marijuana? Really?
He got a squeak too.
Wow.
I'm gonna say this because this is no filter. This is no filter productions.
I'm
gonna say this because this is no filter productions. Shit happens. Shit happens.
Okay.
And that's at the end of the day. I mean, yeah. You don't want to make the same mistake twice. I mean, But hey,
You want me to tell you what his excuse was, Renegade? Let me tell you what his excuse. His excuse because he was afraid of flying. So I'm like, dude, you've been flying for years. So you now, all of a sudden, you need some weed to calm you. What you will calm you? But you got to remember, they already had you under a microscope. You were already told the reason why you were out in the NBA because of it. You couldn't get off the weed. Which I'm saying now, I know a lot of teams are looking at this. I think football is looking at it's okay to smoke off season. I don't know how they're doing it now, but they're looking at it better now. But I think it's nothing wrong with it, and I think the world will find out one day it's actually more kill. It's good for you to calm some people down. But, I'm like, so what do the Lakers do with him when they get back? Do they continue to let him play? They put him on suspension?
You know what? My thing is, it's just like Washington State. All right, so when I was after I got out the military, you know, I was stationed at Fort Lewis McCoy Air Force Base in Seattle, and I moved, you know, just south, maybe about 20 minutes south in Tacoma, and I started working as a civilian, and you know, of course, marijuana has been legal there for since God knows when.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, I mean, matter of fact, it was one of the first states to have it all the way legalized.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep,
Wow.
yep. So you know, I got a civilian job out there working with the DoD, Department of
Oh,
Defense,
okay. Yeah.
and they said, you know, here's the deal with marijuana. You know, we have to, you know, because it's not, it's not legal federally. You know, we have to drug test you this one time, but then after that, we can't do it. All we ask is that, you know, you know, don't bring it to work, and don't, you know, be all coming in smelling like, you know, weed and everything. They'll be
Right, right.
respectful about it.
Yes.
And I mean, that's one of the things I think that the NBA, the MLB, and MLB, Major League Soccer, every sport should really consider,
Right.
because I mean, at least it's not crack.
That's right. I couldn't deal with them hard drugs.
Although
I can't deal with. I don't. What'd you say, T?
Although if you're doing crack in 2020, you got more problems than marijuana was solve.
Man, let me tell
Oh,
you.
that's right. Yeah. You're so
Yeah.
right. So you know what? With that being said, so after you all seen what you saw before they closed down, okay, before the NBA, you know, had to close according to the COVID-19 rules. So what would you still have the same? Who would you say right now would be the two teams in the finals, and why? Did it change your mind, T? Who would you say right now?
I would still give the edge to the Clippers and the Bucks personally.
Okay.
I would say the Lakers are really dangerous. They were already going to be dangerous if the playoffs happen regularly, but by the fact that they are an older team, that they are an older team, especially LeBron James, you give him that much time to rest. And another kind of factor that I kind of think of is the Boogie Cousins aspect. I know they cut him, but if Boogie probably would have been healthy at this point to play, so
yeah, he would have been. They should have kept him, but they didn't keep him.
I don't know if they take a peek at that when it comes up. Dwight Howard's more healthy, so I think it's the Clippers Lakers kind of thing. Regardless, I think it was going to be that pre-COVID. I think it'll be the same thing.
Right.
And I think the Bucks kind of were going to run away with the East anyway. And I don't see that changing regardless. So.
Whoa, I don't know. I might go ahead, Renegade. Let's see what you got.
Give me the Lakers and the Celtics. We're gonna go with an old school classic matchup in the finals.
Somebody else say that. Oh my God.
We're gonna go with because Boston, they finally, you know, once they got, you know, once Al Horford, you know, which he's past his prime. You know, and they got him up out of there. I think we began to see Boston able to run the floor like they never have in the history.
Wow.
And a lot of teams aren't used to that fast-paced offense, especially a Kemba Walker-led fast-paced offense.
Woo!
At that. So, I think the Eastern Conference was not ready for that. And, you know, I'm still not, you know, although I think Giannis is probably the most unstoppable player in the NBA right now.
Right.
Although I think that he just doesn't have enough weapons. He doesn't have enough weapons around him to actually be a factor. As a matter of fact, I could see them being put out in the conference semifinals.
What?
Yeah,
what?
I wasn't, you know, I mean, I just thought that they was a little too hyped up. I don't think they would have actually made it. I would have picked a team like Indiana.
Oh, okay.
I'd have picked a team like Indiana to actually beat them in a 7-game series.
Wow.
And I know
And what do you,
that's kind of a stretch, but you got to remember something.
that's a stretch.
Indiana has, they've got weapons. Maybe not the highest grade of weapons, but nonetheless, they got a lot of chemistry on that team, and they were defensively sound. Milwaukee, not so much.
They got
Wow.
Giannis.
I mean, I would be looking for, like, right now, what happened last year in the playoffs, and I can't go by that, but hey, they got sharp. I'm looking at 76ers because Embiid right now, he probably happy as a horse. Because, he was out, he was hurt, so he going to be ready to go. Listen, Miami, to me, just added another weapon. When they got Iguodala, I'm looking for Miami to do some damage, I think, in the playoffs. I think Miami can do some stuff.
Memphis got the better end of that deal. I can't. Iguodala, no, just no.
Hey, I'm not saying. Listen, he coming off the bench. Coming off the bench to contribute to what? Oh my gosh,
Jimmy Butler.
Butler. Yeah, contribute to what they already got. To me, that's a solid team. I said that that trade they made, what they did, that was good to me. I think that Miami will do some damage in them playoffs. I do believe that.
It'll come down to matchups ultimately. So
Right.
I think it you give the veteran teams the edge just because they got the rest. A lot of times you'll get
Yeah.
ran off the court
Ooh,
because the fresh legs will take over. And I think
right.
that also helped the Milwaukee because, like you said, Karen, Giannis got a chance to get healthy. And the Bucks team, they're not old, but they're not really young either. They depend on
Right.
Brook
Right.
Lopez and George Hill. They have a little mix of it. So I think that Boston, I see what Rennie's saying, but I think that Boston doesn't have nobody for Giannis. And I think on the other side of that Milwaukee has something for Jason Tatum. Milwaukee has something for Jaylen Brown. Milwaukee has something for Kemba Walker. I don't think
Oh
nobody has
wow.
nothing for Giannis
That's
until you get
that's
to the Western Conference.
all right.
So
So here's okay. So I'm gonna I'm gonna go back in history a little bit. Remember we said that about the 2004 Pistons when they had Chauncey Billups. They didn't have
They had a
these
team.
big
Ooh,
superstars, but they had a team. And the one thing that they did that Boston does is play team defense. Even in the zone defense, every shot is contested. You can only have your rotations have to be crisp and solid to be able to contest a wide open three. And this is what Boston constantly does. If you look at the stats, they lead the league in contested shots per game.
I get
So
that.
now Milwaukee doesn't really have the best shooters. Because outside of Giannis, everybody else is real streaky. So, then
right.
there's that. And
Well,
not only that, but
those.
go ahead. I'm sorry, Miss Karen.
Oh no, you go ahead. I was saying, don't you think? I'm trying to think his name. Is it not Millicent? It's not Milford, right? I'm trying to think of his name. It starts with an M, and I'm missing it.
Mm.
For
I
who?
think
Milwaukee?
I really think that Milwaukee has a very good defense and everything. I feel like that. I don't know. Like I said, I kind of agree with you with Celtics because I heard somebody else say that. They said while everybody playing around, they thinking it's going to be Clippers and Bucks, but they said no, it's going to be Lakers and Celtics. And Stephen A. had the same argument. I was shocked. I'm like, I haven't
Look,
even considered the Celtics as good as they are.
Milwaukee took themselves out of that conversation when they got rid of Calvin Brogdon.
Oh wow!
Because when they got rid of or Malcolm Brogdon, when they got rid of him, that was it. Because Brogdon is he's a solid all around player, and he's underlooked. Or at least overlooked. And I think he was underappreciated. And I think he's gonna show him.
I think Milwaukee got helped out by Kawhi going over to the Clippers because that was, to me, the number one reason that the Bucks didn't go last year was because of a Toronto team. I think the Bucks would have got past Philly last year. So I think we can go past this year. I don't think necessarily like the Brogdon situation. To me, it would hurt more of last year when everything was just razor sharp. And even having Brogdon, they still took that loss. I think this year with Kawhi going over, and I feel you on the Boston thing. I just think Boston may be a year too early. Like, it wouldn't shock me if I see 2021 Boston with another piece, presumably a big man there, that can take them over the top. Right now, I think that just with your Pistons analogy, I think it was a little bit of imploding by the Lakers too that helped the Pistons get there. I don't see the Bucks imploding. I see the Bucks kind of on a mission. If nothing else, they won't win a championship, but they'll get a step ahead.
Oh my God. Y'all gotta forgive me.
You're good.
The
Hey,
lightning hit,
yeah,
and
we
I
good.
went down.
Man down.
Man, I went down. I didn't get shocked, y'all. I didn't get hit, but I thought I did. Oh my God.
Man
I
down.
did not like. Woman down. Woman is
Yep,
down.
yep. You good? You good?
I am great. I
All
can't
right,
believe y'all caught
fabulous.
this. Y'all got this on camera, but when the lightning bolt hit, my chair went over. I am alive and well. I do not like. Woo, where did that come from?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's
Hey,
raining
that's
over
a
here.
blooper.
Anyway.
You're going to have to cut that out of here.
Oh no. We can't even do it. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's just
You
too
did?
much. That's great TV. Let me tell you.
Okay.
Yeah. We can't
I
even
went
do it.
down. He said, man down, woman went down.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's okay.
I said,
It's okay. Just as long as you up, you know, we good.
I didn't know what happened.
yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
I was like,
know
look,
y'all right.
I thought maybe she dropped the phone. You know.
No,
see that
I
camera.
actually went down. I went down. Did y'all see the chair when it rolled over? See, you're funny. I went down. That you heard that boom? Is it lightning where you all at?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
it's raining on this side.
Yeah, it's been
Oh,
it's
yeah.
been bad.
Mm-hmm.
I
So
didn't even know it was coming up. All I heard was, I heard a lot of wind and rain and stuff coming, but nevertheless, hey, I'm okay. We're good. We're still, this is Karen K. What's going on? I didn't see school there because when I was so animal unfiltered. See, the lightning got me, so I was still here, you know. But I understand what y'all were saying. Hey, I'm looking for, I think it will be the Lakers. And that's going to be a battle right there because I'm telling you, Tatum, that Celtics team is tough. They like you said, they got a lot of weapons. And I'm looking forward to see.
And they're running the floor like we've never seen any Boston team do.
Woo!
You know,
Tatum got a 3-pointer from every angle. This dude can shoot from all across the perimeter. He ain't got a spot. He can't hit a three.
And Jaylen Brown. And Jaylen Brown is
he's good.
He's just a beast. Period.
Oh yeah, he is.
He you know puts me in the mind of a bigger D Wade.
Oh, okay.
You know what? And I'm gonna say that because his 3-point game isn't all that great. But man, when you talk about somebody who can play around the rim,
oh, he can. Yeah, he can. He's really good when it comes.
And he's just that Boston team's got some talent, and you know, with Kemba Walker leading, and let's not forget there is an X factor. You know, there is an X factor to that, and his name is Brad Stevens. We've got he's a really good coach and an experienced coach. You know, and proven winner on both the college and the pro level.
Definitely give you that.
You know what I mean? So, you know, I don't, you know, that Lakers Celtics, that will go 7. And it's really hard.
I was getting ready to say that would go 7, and I think it could go either way.
Yep.
I think it could go either way. It could either be the Lakers or the Celtics. It took me back to the 2009, 2008 when I think the Celtics won first, and then the Lakers won the next one, and it was the same 2 teams again. So hey, I'm ready. Hey, I say let's jump off quick. Let's hit the playoffs and let's go running.
and you know what? The Celtics would have actually the Celtics would have beat the Lakers had it not have been for somebody named Kobe Bryant who happened to score 20 points in the 3rd quarter. I mean, I remember
he went off.
I remember Dwayne Wade. I remember Dwayne Wade being in the stands, and he shook his head. He went, "Damn." And Kobe, like, wow.
That's a bad boy.
Well,
That dude
what
is
can
bad
you
right
do? Like, what can you do?
I'm
With
getting
all that.
up. Okay,
Take your time. We here. Ain't no thing.
no. I was down in the floor. I'm actually literally getting up, and I just got my chair up. Hey guys, this Karen K action is just fantastic. Yeah, I'm still here. Oh, I thought I was getting up, but I think I'm gonna just sit, stand. But
Now the
we'll
real
be all
question
right.
is, was that a charge or a block?
Mm-hmm.
Was that a charge? Yeah, somebody came through here and charged me and knocked me clean on the floor. No.
That's
That
all
was
right.
the lightning, guys. When the lightning hits, I go down. You would have thought it struck me. I hit it like I hit the floor like it had just struck me. I'm not a big fan of lightning nor thunder. And when it does that, boom, I think it hit something, but I'm just thank God that it didn't hit me right now. But it hit something in the neighborhood. But nevertheless, we're moving forward. So listen, guys, the MLB owners, we talked about it's going to have approved to return play proposal starting July 4th. Empty stands, of course, taking health precautions. So, but the owners want to do a 50-50 split with the money. What do you all think about that? Should the players agree to a 50-50 split, or should you give them money that you promised them in February, when you was making all these deals, when you were giving people big bonus and stuff? Should they agree to a 50-50 split? Renegade, what do you think?
Okay, so the NBA owners remind me of Don King. They'll give him that 50-50 split, but they're going to find a way to beat him out of half of that.
What about the MLB? MLB?
Yep. MLB, I mean. They'll beat him out of half of that.
Okay.
It's but then that's one reason why there's no salary cap. I mean, we got who is it? Mike Trout making about at least
mil.
No, he's making 400 and it's like $440 million over 10 years.
That much.
Yeah, almost $500 million.
That is
crazy. I mean, $500 million. You know what I mean? It's like
to play baseball.
To play baseball.
Shoot, let me do it.
I mean, I think he's one of the only ones, one of the only superstar athletes who ain't really losing a whole lot.
Right.
I mean, he could say 20 million. Hey, no problem. We still got what, 460 left.
Yes.
I mean,
take some of my money because I got plenty.
Right. I mean, so you look at it, and like I said, they're gonna find a way to finagle out of something out of it. And I mean, that's at the end of the day, for most people, that's just business.
Right.
So I mean, we'll figure it out. What you got, T?
I think they should keep it to wherever the agreement was to begin with. Keep it there and just prorate it. So at this point, we don't know how many baseball games will be played. So the best way to not screw them out of money and not screw the owners either is just to prorate it. So if you're not playing 162, you don't get paid for 162. You get paid for, let's say, 100. You get paid for that. You get paid for 80. But keep the agreement the same. You know what I'm saying? It's more like not necessarily a handshake agreement, but if I agreed to, it's like a marriage. If I married you, I married you for when things are good and when things are bad. So I may have gave you that ring when we were getting money and, we popping bottles, we doing all this, that, and the third, but now we done hit a broke spot. I can't just abandon
bottles,
you,
baby.
You know what I'm saying? Like
bottles, you got to make big money.
Man, listen. Nothing wrong with that.
So just prorate it. You know what I'm saying? You get paid what you worth. You get paid what you work for. And they have first world problems to have anyway. You know what I'm saying? There's more people with unemployment situations and stuff to deal with. I don't have time to deal with athletes crying about money. Figure it out the best way you can figure it out. Handle it the best way where everybody wins. Let's get some baseball going.
Understood. Now, I think that there was something that came out yesterday on the news about the amount of games.
Uh-huh.
It's going to be half of 162. That's what I got out of it.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that. Don't quote
Right,
me on
right.
that. I can check this and I can get back to you, but I want to say that it's half. I was watching it yesterday, on the news about that. So
Right, because it's a lot
yeah,
of baseball games. It's a lot of games. They play a lot of games.
well, 162.
Right.
Now there was another argument that came up with that too. Again, that's my grandmother. That's why I learned how to play. This is how I learned how to play devil's advocate, which
Okay.
y'all can catch right here on No Filter.
Yes.
Saturdays, 7 p.m. T. We love you to join. We got great
Yes.
topics. We have a lot of fun.
Yes, we do.
And we basically just shooting the shit.
Yes.
Yeah, this week's topics will be it's
Yeah.
real. This week's topics
Real.
it'll be about abuse, from all different levels and societies and things like that. That's the whole topic. So 7 p.m. Saturdays, you're more than welcome to come on
Yes.
board with us. I appreciate it. And besides it, I kind of feel left out being the only guy sometimes. I had to, let the ladies get back and do their thing, and kind of sit back for a minute. But yeah, so
we appreciate you, Renegade.
yeah, no problem. Yeah, but I can check into that. But there is one thing, and we hear athletes crying about money all the time, and we who don't make that much money, heaven forbid I ever did. We look at them and we say, hey, they don't deserve all this money for playing a game. But here's the things that we really need to take into account. Okay, so they have no private life, for one. I mean, everything they do and every move they make is watched, is scrutinized, and everything else. I mean, and because they make all this money, they have to watch even who they're around, what they say, what they do. They have almost no freedom like the rest of us.
Right.
They're away from their families for ungodly amounts of time out of the year. Because I even hear kids that say, well, yeah, we had everything we wanted growing up, but my dad really wasn't ever there, so I don't really know him, and this and that and the third. We got those things, and they go through real problems too, stuff that we don't see. They're putting their bodies on the line. And for instance, in baseball, generally it's 162 plus games out of the year. You know what I mean? That's for a regular season. That's not even including the playoffs. That's why I said plus. So with all these things considered, we say, oh, they don't deserve that much money. I'm like, well, it's kind of an argument for that. Because there's a lot of things extra stuff that they have to go through that I'm not even sure if I'd be willing to pay the price.
Right.
Most of that sounds like stuff I have to go through just being this. So, I mean, I get the point. I definitely do. But it's not necessarily about what they deserve. It's more about, I don't care about that argument. I don't care about the 50-50 split and how, you may not pay because you don't feel like you're getting paid what you owe or whatever the case may be. I'm looking at the American unemployment numbers and seeing what that's doing.
Wow.
If you don't play a whole year, you can still be rich. This person has a regular job and don't know when they will be able to. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the people that I feel like need to be taken care of before the baseball players who,
yes,
I get your concerns, but if somebody's paying me $30-something million, I'll take the scrutiny. You know what I mean? I'll deal with that. I'm signing up for that. I'm getting paid handsomely for that. So it's more problems than to figure out that. Just do it or don't do it.
Hold on. Wait a second. Not so fast, my friend, as my homeboy Lee Corso would say on ESPN. Not so fast, my friend. You want to talk about bills? We can take that, and expand on it a little bit. All right, so I might have a $200 light bill. imagine $20,000.
They have it.
You know
They
what I
have
mean?
it.
You know, we could say that, but then, you know, there's a lot of extra people that they have to pay to, accountants, lawyers. I mean, there's, you know, and last I checked, none of these things are cheap.
Well,
So
what is arguing about that and not playing going to do anyway? Because if you have those bills, if I need a job and I need money, I want to go to work. It's just the way it is. My job doesn't pay me what I feel like but I still go there because I need to pay the things that I need to pay for. They're arguing about something that at some point in time you played for free. So that's pretty much my thing is I understand all those things, but they're first world problems and they're third world problems. Those first world problems I could care less about because those are the petty problems. You can play or don't play. You will still be able to pay your bills no matter what you do. It's my thing as a consumer is I don't want to get into your argument. You figure it out. You're a grown man. Figure it out. Come to me once you start doing this.
Yeah.
okay,
You know what,
all right, I
look
give you
at-
that. I give you that.
You know, oh, okay, go ahead.
No, I was just telling him, you know, okay, I'll give you that. That's, you know, that's a valid argument. You know, it is a catch-22.
Sure.
Either way you do, either way you go. And
Yes.
I mean, at the end of the day, you know, it's all about, you know, the individual and how we handle these things. Because believe me, let's look at Allen Iverson. We would have said the same thing about Allen Iverson years ago when he made that $90 million, but he squandered $90 million.
Yes,
I
he
mean,
did.
just as easy as it's just as easy for us to squander $90.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it's at the end of the day, it's still, you know, it's the same principle, I think. So, you know, but I think the one thing is that we do have to be careful when we talk about, you know, their finances, because I mean, there is a lot to consider with that a lot of people don't. We just look at the dollar amount and say, oh, well, you know, yeah, I'd never had that. You know, I never had this issue. I never had that issue. That's real easy for us to do. But because, I mean, let's face it, we don't make it. We'll probably never see that kind of money. I mean, hopefully we do at some point in time, maybe. And maybe it's because we are poor, we'll know how to handle it. Because I know I'm poor. I can't even look. I'm poor. Matter of fact, I can't even afford the other. I can't even afford the other O&R. That, you know, we just straight.
It's
I put
another
it this way.
game.
We
You signed up for that. Go ahead. You know what I'm saying? This is my take on it. When it reminds me of people who don't want to be in the spotlight and you sign up to be an actor. How are you a singer and you know the paparazzi are coming? I'm gonna use Kanye for example. You breaking their cameras, you hitting them, and you saying all types of stuff to them. No, I told my son, these are the life you sign up for. Okay, if I'm a school teacher or whatever my job is, and I know it comes with scrutiny, I know it comes with I'm a public figure. I know that camera's gonna be in my face daily. I know that people gonna be saying stuff. That's my choice. When you make the choice to go in the NFL, the MLB, the whatever, if it's tennis, if it's soccer, whatever the sport is, it could be baseball, you know, football, whatever, hockey, whatever. You know, you sign up and say, hey, my life is no longer belongs to me. My life belongs to the public. I could try to be much as private as I can. I can sit here and date whoever I want to. Who cares? I'm Karen Evans. Who knows me? But let somebody else do it that name holds significant in the public eye, and they gonna, LeBron James, I just read this. Not that it's true. LeBron James is cheating with supermodel. No, Instagram model, blah, blah, blah. And this young girl they're talking about. And you know what? It's because who he is. And he probably is not even cheating. But because he's LeBron, you got to be able to handle that stuff along with your lawyers and your light bill. Because if you go get a mansion, you're going to have a light bill that's probably $30,000, $40,000. You got to remember. And just like, for example, I know a guy that I used to minister and work with in Virginia that was a rapper. Nobody knew his status. He lived in a regular house. He did not get publicity when he came to his hometown in Virginia. He worked. He mentored students. The only way you knew him is because he was out in the community helping. He lived in a regular house. He had a studio in his house now, but he lived in a regular white house. You wouldn't even knew the dude made that much money, and he was on tour every week. And we did some things together. He did some studio stuff for my son, because my son sings and rap, you know. But you would never know this guy had albums out. I went to an album release party he had, and was doing so much stuff. You know why? He didn't want to be in the limelight. He didn't want everybody to know his business, what he was doing. His wife actually was in the military. That's how they got stationed in Virginia, in the Air Force. But I feel like these players, these are the life this is what you sign up for. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you, hey, I don't think I would want that type. If I have to live a life where my life got to be a constant storybook, which it is at some point, and I got to be in the life, you got to follow me everywhere I go. You got to camp outside my house with your cameraman, and you wait for me to come out so you can get a picture, or you're chasing me down, and here come fans running you over. It's good for people to know your name, but to be ran over, act like that, I don't want that. I don't want that type of life. Some people want that, so you really can't complain. Well, you have that. You talking about money. Mm-hmm. How many basketball players I would like to know? Not only basketball players, but how many millionaires besides Tyler Perry that I've heard of? And there's probably some who don't want their names disclosed. You know, Tyler Perry did. He went down to the supermarket at Kroger's. No, not Kroger's. I forgot the name of it because I know Georgia don't have a Kroger's. They have I can't think of it right now. I used to go to the market all the time when I was in Georgia. But he went out there and he bought, I don't know how many people, but he bought their groceries. He just said, hey, I'm going to pay for their groceries. Hey, I'm going to pay for them too. And
that's charity. That's the real charity.
That's the real charity when you go out and do something like that. But he had to close his studio down. He closed the studios down. He won't open back up to July. We're testing. But he has not complained one time, which I know he got money. He got stuff coming in. That's it. These guys are millionaires. Instead of you saying, hey, I don't want a pay cut, or I don't want you messing with my money, because you know they're paid them. There are certain players, they said, that's not going to touch their money, like NBA, like LeBron. I think it was Steph Curry. They named about 5 or 6 of them that's already got their money. But then other people are going to have to take a pay cut come October. They're going to get so much percentage from them because of what they're not getting money coming in right now, you know, because they don't have games to go to and tickets to sell, you know. So, hey, not that I'm, you know.
Right. I get that. Speaking of Tyler Perry, he did come out. They're coming out with he's coming out with a new series.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I forget the name of it, but it's a real unique. See, Tyler Perry is really one of my people I like really follow and look up to, because
I love
his content is great. And a lot of my content is not really modeled from him, because I have different twists and different things that I do.
Right.
To different types of shows and stuff. But I get, how he comes up with it. And what he does, but he's got a new show out. I'll let you know the name in a second, but yeah, just so y'all know, just for the record.
Yeah, you know what? I want to say this. Anybody and Lil Ray, whatever his name is, if y'all know this guy, he's a TV. He actually said, I don't like when Tyler Perry writes shows about. He has a show out on Wednesday nights called Sisters. He said, you're not even a woman. Oh wow! I kept hearing ambulances. They're coming to my neighborhood. I hope everybody's okay. Somebody, I tell you that thing hit. I'm able to get up, y'all. I'm all right, but I don't know if anybody else was able to get up doing that.
Right.
But you know what? When you can get inside the head of a woman, and you can write, and you know what women do, Black women do on a daily basis, and you can write content of a women's show. Oh, this dude is talented. He's multi-talented. He's talented. I'm telling you, I don't know too many people who can do that.
What do you think about Devil's Advocate? I'm just saying.
That's awesome. That's talented.
But I'm not saying that I'm talented, but that's the thing.
You're talented. I can't put you like Tyler Perry
right now. Not right now. Not now. But hey, Tyler Perry, I'm coming for that title. I need that title. I need that title. I'm gonna need that. I need that belt.
It's wrong for you, brother. It's wrong
I'm like, I'm like Mr. T. I'm like Mr. T when he was getting ready to fight Rocky the first time. I need that belt. Nah. Tyler Perry's series
Multi-talented.
is called Bruh.
Yeah, I heard of that. Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
he
called
is
Bruh.
still
Yeah.
doing bro. Okay.
Yeah,
Because he got the Oval Office. He got. He used
Mhm.
to have a have-nots, but I think he kind of got off of the project. Him and Oprah had that, so he got so much stuff out. The dude is amazing. Somebody who went from sleeping on a park bench to being homeless to being a billionaire. Man, I'm gonna tell you what else he did. The houses that he built. If you ever have not had opportunity to go on YouTube and look at the studios that he built, he bought some property of an old place that was, I think, was like and he got a lot of houses that were built. He used some old houses and redone them for to make all his, houses for families. He took those houses and loaned them out to people who didn't have a place to stay during this time. This is what.
Yeah, because he been there.
Do.
He been
we're
there.
supposed to give back. Like T was saying, you make all these millions and you got the nerve to be crying. You're supposed to be giving back. I'm telling you, the more we give, listen, the more you receive, the more you're supposed to give. So if I'm receiving all of this stuff, I should be giving. Guys, if you're listening, sports fans, whatever, I'm not saying you're not giving because like I said, a lot of you are probably giving and we just don't know. But he just gave and they talked about it. So I think that's great. And I know this is a sports show, but we're talking about Tyler Perry. It's a Karen K show. Okay.
Right. But
you know what? We're talking. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Ray.
No, you good.
No, go ahead. Oh, no, I was going to just go to another question, but go ahead and say what you're going to say.
I just think I think that we're all on the right track here, especially when it comes to giving. The Bible does say, "Do not let your left hand know what the right one's doing," and that's in Matthew chapter 6. I know that for certain.
I haven't read. Oh, okay. I don't know that one, but
yeah, okay. read Matthew chapter 6. It's some real good stuff in it. So just so we all know.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Hey, he said, give it to you and we'll be giving what? Pressed down, shaking, running together. Men will give to you if you give to people, he loves a cheerful giver. So my thing is a lot of people are going without. I can sit here and tell you people that didn't get a stimulus check, didn't get unemployment yet. You're looking at one right now, but I thank God he still provides for me. My lights, everything is still going, and I'm so thankful for that. Right. But, you got some people who don't have anything right now, and I wish I had to been able to, and I will soon be able to be the ones, because my job, I don't work anymore, so we're still trying to live off what we have and savings and things like that. We're so blessed to have money to be able to continue to eat and have gas and have food, have the necessities that you need during this time. But
right.
Yeah, hey, if y'all can find an organization to give to, go ahead, T.
I guess that was my overall thing. Is just at the end of the day, if you say that you love the game and you play for free and you do all this and the third, like I get one to be compensated, but at the same time, like you got to acknowledge the fact that it's just like a remote control. Like I'm going to change the channel when you're arguing, just like I'm changing the channel if I see Love and Hip Hop come on. It got to go. You know what I'm saying? I'm interested in baseball when the baseball is actually being hit, not when you're deciding whether you're going to play for 100 million or 90 million. You know what I mean? Like there's bigger problems to worry about, and right now it's the problem of maybe not having a baseball season because of greed. So if you want me to be concerned about that and play the violin, you won't get that from me. See you on the dime.
Well, I mean,
I'll watch Korean baseball. They playing.
Well, you know what? And baseball, Major League Baseball has been around since the 1890s. So can you imagine? Can you imagine not having baseball altogether and what that would do for just the country's history?
Well, the people that make 400 million have a lot to say about that right now. They want to make 400 million or 390 million. It depends. I'm gonna play baseball one way or another. I mean, we'll see. I think at this point it's just nobody knows because this is something we've never seen before. Every day is a new challenge. We never thought we'd see a world that didn't have sports. I know that's when I paid attention to this COVID thing the real way. Like, okay, you're taking away basketball, football, no March Madness. Okay, this thing is serious. It's time to really, really, you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
it's just you gotta be happy with whatever you get. So the little UFC, that's something, wrestling, whatever, it'll translate. So just hopefully at some point in time we'll see it back to the ball. That's
Hey,
about it.
and you know what too? I had said it, earlier today, and I will say it again. For a long time, I said the day something happens and they shut down Major League Sports, we in trouble.
Mm.
And for a lot of reasons. And I'm like, when they do that, we in real trouble.
Crazy.
And here we are.
Yes.
I've been saying this for years too. I'm like, the day they shut this down, it's getting ready to get bad. So I mean, and now we're talking about trying to deal with the getting back to somewhat of the normality of the aftermath of COVID-19. And they're saying, oh well, we shouldn't say it's a new normal. Well, it is, because now we have the good news is though that we can create a new normal.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
we can,
Right.
and I think, we got a chance to actually start over and get it right this time. So
Right.
we'll see
Right.
it. We'll see
That's
how
all
it
right.
goes.
That's all right. We definitely will, guys. We're almost at the end of our show. So, what we just wanted to tell y'all, we thank you so much for hanging out with us on the Karen K Show. I fell out, but I'm back. It's so good that, we've been away a couple of months now since this COVID-19 started, but nevertheless, we have started back with Unfiltered, as our, the brand that we're going up under. And so I thank T for hanging out with us tonight. This is one of our co-hosts, which will be with us every Thursday night. And we'll probably be bringing in some new co-hosts, but hey, stay safe. Hey, as
Mm,
we said, if you can't give, make sure you give to someone. Check on your
mm,
family. A video
mm,
channel. Hey, we're on Zoom right now. Video channel, house party, whatever you need to do. Messenger, get on there. They got the Dual app. They got FaceTime on iPhone. Hey, just check on someone. Say, hey, just checking on you. Need anything? I love you. I just want
mm,
to see what you're safe. I checked on one of my nieces today in Virginia. She's doing good. I just been talking to my sisters, my brothers, and stuff. And my son. And I'm so thankful that he didn't get hurt today. He was in an accident today. The Lord was watching over him. So I'm still thankful. Everybody's doing good. And I hope your families are also doing good, guys. This is like they said, this is a time that we all need to start reflect on what's going on and just keep each other in prayer and lift it up,
mm, mm.
T, you got any last words you want to say?
Just happy to be back. Happy to have me back.
Welcome back.
Let it be back, man. Ready to have some more fun, talk about some sports, talk about your Cowboys. We can get there. Don't worry about it.
Oh, we're going to get there. Yeah, we're
Y'all,
going to
y'all,
get there.
Get there.
hey, you know what? Thank you so much for you guys not just being here and
Right.
being able to mix it up and do it, because me, Karen, and T, we've been trying to get on the show together for a long time, and
Yes.
now we didn't made it happen, and this was a great show, and you gave me an idea for an introduction for the theme song.
Okay, good.
Y'all gonna see it when I do the
Okay.
video and everything. Matter of fact, when I get ready to put it up on Spotify, and we get our stuff going, y'all gonna see that. One quick thing though, quick shout out to Rise Up Family Sports.
Yes.
It's a lot of dynamic talent there. They got a lot of dynamic shows and just full of personalities, and I can't wait to work with these guys. And really, really begin to mix it up and really begin to get, quality different content out, to the public. I'm really excited for that. Shout out to them. Shout out to, the Ohio Media School, which, here coming 3 weeks, all three of us would have graduated from. Shout out to the Score on Air, where we all got, our start.
Congratulations.
Where we all got our start in this industry. Just shout out to, the rest of the No Filter gang. You'll see all of us on different types of podcasts. You got Roxy's podcast, which debuted yesterday. That was beautiful. She was talking about starting a business and the steps that go about taking it.
Congratulations.
She's a really smart and charismatic individual. You know, we got Miss Hannah with us also from the Ohio Media School on Devil's Advocate. You know, we'll have some more content, more shows. Check out Beats and Bars that's coming out. You know, I'm trying to get Marvell to do that one. You know, Beats and Bars. We're gonna have a lot of fun with that. We got some things going on here at No Filter. You know, we doing it. That's just it. We doing it. Everybody talk about it. We gonna do it. And that's that. But Miss Karen, take us away.
All right. Thank you so much. The Reboot back. Karen K Show. Hey, you all have a great night and be safe. And we will see you next week, hopefully with a 2-hour show. We're going to dig into the Cowboys. We're going to talk about football. We're going to talk more basketball and definitely some other sports we're going to go into. But thank you all so much. You all have a good night.
Good night.
See ya.